Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's session on good practices in quality control. I'm Dr. S.K. Singh, and I'll be guiding you through this important topic. Today, we'll explore the basic principles of GMP, or good manufacturing practices, which are essential for maintaining quality in our processes. Over the course of this presentation, we'll cover key guidelines and best practices that help ensure product quality and safety. I'm glad you could join us, and I look forward to sharing valuable insights with you. Today, we'll be discussing a complete module on quality control laboratories. Now, this section highlights some key aspects of good practices specifically within QC labs. As you know, QC is primarily concerned with sampling, testing, and ensuring that products meet the required specifications. It's essential to remember that QC should operate independently from production to maintain objectivity and integrity in the testing process. QC isn't just confined to the laboratory itself. It's involved in various areas across the production cycle, ensuring quality at every stage. When we talk about good practices in quality control, we're emphasizing the importance of consistency, accuracy, and transparency in all testing activities. By following these practices, we help safeguard the quality of our products, which ultimately impacts customer satisfaction and regulatory compliance. So, understanding and implementing these good practices is fundamental to maintaining high standards in our quality control processes. Now, it's essential that each manufacturer has a dedicated QC function in place. This means that quality control isn't just an afterthought, but a core part of the manufacturing process. This QC function should be supervised by a person with the right qualifications and ample experience, ensuring that the oversight is both competent and reliable. When we talk about resources, it's critical that these include adequate facilities that are properly equipped for testing and analysis. Additionally, trained personnel are a must. They need to be skilled and knowledgeable in their specific roles. All activities should be guided by approved procedures, which serve as the standard operating protocols to maintain consistency and quality. Moreover, specifications and test procedures must be clearly defined so everyone knows the exact criteria for quality and performance. It's also important to reference the Pharmacopoeia, which provides authoritative standards for pharmaceuticals. Finally, adhering to good practices in quality control helps ensure that all these components work harmoniously, leading to reliable and high-quality products. When you connect these points together, you see that a robust QC function is the backbone of producing safe, effective, and compliant medicines. Now, let's take a closer look at the basic requirements for quality control. First, sampling, inspecting, and testing of materials, bulk, and finished products are essential steps. These processes help us verify that each batch meets our quality standards before it reaches the market. Next, monitoring environmental conditions is crucial. Factors like temperature, humidity, and cleanliness can significantly impact product quality, so keeping an eye on these conditions helps us maintain consistency. Qualification and validation are also key. They ensure that our manufacturing processes and equipment are capable of producing products that consistently meet specifications. This is about building confidence in our procedures and outcomes. Maintaining thorough records of all actions, deviations, and investigations is vital. Documentation provides traceability and accountability, helping us identify and address issues promptly. Another important point is to ensure that both ingredients and finished products are of the required quality and fully compliant with marketing authorizations. This guarantees safety, efficacy, and regulatory adherence. Lastly, keeping retention samples of each batch allows us to conduct future comparisons or investigations if needed. All these steps form the foundation of good practices in quality control, which ultimately support our goal of delivering safe, effective, and high-quality products to our customers. Now, let's look at some of the other key responsibilities in quality control. First, establishing, validating, and implementing QC procedures is essential to ensure that our tests are accurate, reliable, and consistent across the board. Next, Evaluating, storing, and maintaining reference standards helps us verify the quality of our materials over time, serving as a benchmark for our testing processes. Proper labeling of containers, materials, and products is crucial too. This prevents any mix-ups and ensures that everything is traceable and compliant. Monitoring the stability of APIs and finished products is another vital task. It allows us to understand how products behave over time and under different conditions, which is critical for ensuring safety and efficacy. Participating in complaint investigations helps us address any issues promptly and thoroughly, ultimately improving our processes. We also engage in environmental monitoring, which is about keeping our workspace clean and controlled to prevent contamination. And finally, involvement in quality risk management programs enables us to proactively identify and mitigate potential risks before they become problems. All of these responsibilities underscore our commitment to good practices in quality control, which are fundamental to maintaining the integrity of our products and safeguarding public health. Now, let's talk about QC access. It's essential that QC personnel have access to production and other key areas. This access allows them to perform their duties effectively, whether it's sampling water systems, steam, or conducting environmental monitoring. Having proper access is also crucial during investigations, where quick and thorough sampling can make a big difference. Good practices in quality control include ensuring that access is controlled and documented, which helps maintain the integrity of the samples and the environment. Remember, effective QC practices are vital for maintaining product quality and compliance throughout the entire process. They connect directly to our overall goal of ensuring safety and consistency in our operations. Let's talk about sampling for a moment. It's really important to avoid contamination, cross-contamination, and mix-ups during the sampling process. Why? Because any of these issues can lead to inaccurate results or even compromise the safety of the product. So always handle samples carefully and systematically. When you label the sampled containers, make sure each one is clearly marked and then resealed properly. This helps maintain the integrity of the sample and ensures traceability later on. Also, remember to use clean sampling equipment each time. And it's best practice to store this equipment separately from other laboratory tools to prevent any accidental transfer of contaminants. All of these steps tie into good practices in quality control. They're about maintaining the accuracy and reliability of your sampling process, which ultimately supports the overall quality of your product. Consistent, careful sampling helps us uphold the standards we aim for in quality management. Now, let's talk about the control of starting materials, intermediates, bulk and finished products, as well as printed packaging materials. It's essential that each lot or batch we receive is thoroughly examined. This means we don't just take it at face value, we carefully inspect every batch upon receipt. Samples are taken from each batch, and it's important that these samples are representative of the entire batch to ensure accuracy in testing. Once we've collected these samples, they are subjected to specific test procedures to verify their quality and compliance with standards. Before any product is released, the results of these tests are double-checked by a supervisor. This step is crucial to prevent any substandard products from reaching the market, ensuring only quality products are released or, if necessary, rejected. This process embodies our good practices in quality control, which are fundamental to maintaining product integrity, safety, and efficacy throughout our manufacturing process. Remember, strict control at every stage helps uphold our commitment to quality and consumer trust. Now, let's talk about how each sample container should be properly labeled. It's really important to include several key pieces of information to ensure traceability and accountability. First, make sure to clearly indicate the name of the sampled material. This helps us identify exactly what was tested. Next, include the batch or lot number, which links the sample back to the specific production batch. Then, note the container number from which the sample was taken, so we know its origin within the batch. Additionally, assign a sample number to distinguish it from others. Don't forget to have the person who collected the samples sign the label. That's crucial for accountability. And finally, always record the date of sampling to keep our records accurate and timely. Proper labeling like this is a fundamental part of good practices in quality control, ensuring that every sample can be traced back and verified throughout the process. Let's talk about out-of-specification results. When we encounter these, it's essential to follow the SOP for OOS investigation thoroughly. This means we report any OOS findings without delay, ensuring prompt action. Once reported, an investigation is initiated to understand the root cause. Based on the findings, appropriate actions are taken, and it's important to refer to guidelines from stringent regulatory authorities to ensure compliance. Throughout this process, practicing good quality control is key. Maintaining high standards in our investigations and actions helps us uphold product quality and patient safety. Remember, every step in managing OOS results is critical in maintaining the integrity of our quality system and ensuring we meet regulatory expectations. Let's talk about the test requirements for starting and packaging materials. Before any product is released, these materials must undergo testing to ensure they meet our quality standards. Once the testing is done, the results are carefully reviewed by our QC manager to confirm that everything is within the specified parameters. Usually, an identity test is performed on a sample from each container to verify the material's authenticity and quality. However, under certain conditions, particularly when working with trusted suppliers and established qualification processes, we can reduce the amount of sampling and testing needed. This helps streamline the process without compromising quality. Overall, these practices are part of our good practices in quality control, ensuring that every batch meets our strict standards before reaching the customer. This approach helps us maintain high quality and consistency throughout our production process. Let's discuss the concept of reduced sampling and how it relates to good practices in quality control. When we talk about reduced sampling, we're referring to a validated procedure that allows us to confidently assess quality with fewer samples, but only when certain conditions are met. First, it's crucial to consider the nature and status of both the manufacturer and the supplier, especially in relation to good manufacturing practices, or GMP. Ensuring that these standards are maintained is fundamental to product quality. Next, the quality assurance system of the manufacturer of the starting material plays a vital role. We need to understand how robust their QA processes are, as this directly impacts the reliability of the materials we receive. Manufacturing conditions are also key. Stable, controlled environments help minimize variability, making reduced sampling more feasible and trustworthy. Another important point is the nature of the starting material and the products in which it will be used. If the material comes from a single manufacturer or plant, and there's a consistent process in place, this consistency supports the use of reduced sampling. Furthermore, whether the material is coming directly from the manufacturer or in a sealed container with a proven history of reliability influences our sampling approach. Regular audits of the manufacturer's QA system, whether conducted by us or an officially accredited body, help ensure ongoing compliance and quality. All these factors, manufacturer reliability, manufacturing conditions, and the nature of the material are interconnected. When they align, we can confidently implement reduced sampling procedures, which are both efficient and reliable, as long as the proper validations are in place. This approach ultimately supports our overall goal of maintaining high quality standards while optimizing our testing processes. Let's consider whether results can be confidently taken from the certificate of analysis provided by the supplier. It's important to remember that these results should be subject to appropriate periodic validation to ensure ongoing accuracy. This helps us verify that the supplier's analysis remains reliable over time. In addition, we often perform on-site audits of the supplier's capabilities. This allows us to directly assess their testing processes, facilities, and quality systems. It's a crucial step to ensure their analysis is trustworthy and consistent with our standards. When it comes to the certificates themselves, we prefer to see original certificates of analysis, not photocopies, so we can be assured of their authenticity. The COAs must contain key information, such as the supplier's name and address, signatures, qualifications, details about the materials, batch numbers, specifications, results, and dates. All of these elements are part of good practices in quality control. They help us maintain confidence in the raw materials we use and ensure that product quality is upheld throughout the process. Let's talk about in-process control records. These should be kept as part of the batch records, ensuring we have a complete trace of every step taken during production. It's essential because it helps verify that all processes were carried out correctly and consistently. Now, for each batch of finished product, we need to confirm that it complies with the established specifications before releasing it. This verification step is crucial to ensure that only quality products reach our customers. If a product does not meet those specifications, it must be rejected. This is a key aspect of maintaining quality and safety standards, preventing substandard products from going out into the market. Good practices in quality control revolve around these principles: meticulous record keeping, thorough verification, and strict rejection when necessary. These practices help uphold the integrity of our products and the trust of those who rely on them. Let's take a moment to review the importance of records in our quality control process. When we review QC records as part of the batch approval process, we're ensuring that all the data is accurate and complete before moving forward. If a batch fails, it's crucial to thoroughly investigate the cause. This investigation should be well documented in writing, and if necessary, extended to review other batches that might be affected. Additionally, we keep retention samples of the finished product, carefully stored in their final packaging under the recommended conditions. This practice allows us to verify the product's quality over time if any issues arise later. We also retain samples of the active starting materials and excipients, ensuring we have enough on hand for at least 2 full re-examinations. All of these steps are part of good practices in quality control, which help us maintain high standards and ensure product integrity throughout the manufacturing process. Remember, thorough record-keeping and proper sample management are fundamental to demonstrating compliance and quality assurance. Let's talk about stability studies. These are essential for QC to evaluate the quality and stability of finished pharmaceutical products. When necessary, they also include testing of starting materials and intermediate products. The goal here is to ensure that every component maintains its integrity throughout the product's life cycle. Based on the results of these stability tests, especially considering storage conditions, we establish expiry dates and shelf life specifications. This means we can confidently determine how long a product remains effective and safe for use. It's important to note that stability is determined before the product even hits the market. We need to be certain of its stability profile beforehand. Additionally, if there are significant changes in processes, equipment, or packaging materials, we must conduct further stability testing. This helps us verify that these modifications haven't compromised the product's quality or shelf life. All of this ties into good practices in quality control, ensuring that every step is thorough and reliable. Ultimately, stability studies are a cornerstone of maintaining high standards and safeguarding public health. Now, let's talk about the written program for ongoing stability. This program is essential to ensure the continuous quality and safety of the medicine throughout its shelf life. It includes a complete description of the medicine involved in the study, so we clearly define what exactly we are testing. We also outline the testing parameters and methods, specifying how we will monitor stability and what tests are necessary. It's important to include a sufficient number of batches in the program, which helps us account for variability and ensures the consistency of the product. The testing schedule for each medicine is also detailed, so we know when and how often tests should be conducted over time. Additionally, we need to make provisions for special storage conditions. Some medicines require specific environments to maintain stability. Equally important is the retention of adequate samples, so we have reference material for future testing or verification. Finally, the program culminates in a data summary, where we evaluate all the results, draw meaningful conclusions, and ensure that the medicine remains stable and effective throughout its intended shelf life. This comprehensive approach is a cornerstone of good practices in quality control, helping us uphold the safety, efficacy, and quality of medicinal products. Now, let's briefly summarize the key points about quality control. First, QC is an essential part of good manufacturing practices, or GMP, so it's important to always refer to the handout for detailed guidelines. When we talk about sampling, we're selecting representative portions of raw materials or finished products to test, ensuring consistency and quality. Specifications define the criteria that our products must meet, serving as the benchmark for quality. Testing involves analyzing samples to verify they meet these specifications, which is vital for maintaining standards. Release procedures are the steps we follow before approving a product for distribution, making sure everything is in order. In case of recalls or complaints, QC plays a crucial role in identifying issues and taking corrective actions to protect consumers. Ultimately, all these activities support our decision-making in quality matters, helping us ensure that every product we release is safe, effective, and of high quality. Good practices in quality control are the backbone of manufacturing excellence, so following these principles consistently is key to our success. For further support, please contact us. We're here to help with any questions or additional information you might need. Thank you so much for your time and attention today. If anything comes up later, don't hesitate to reach out. Remember, we're committed to your success, and we're just a message or call away. Thanks again for being part of this presentation.